Here's your daily dose of fitness, food, and fun. Angelica's Daily Surprise starts now.
You can't rely on your old sets. We were talking earlier.
No, it's not like music.
No, it's not. You can't sing Hey Jude forever.
No, you can't.
Right? Listen to books on tape.
Yeah.
On tape. Who's the 65-year-old guy? I can listen to books on tape, and sometimes I even put one in the Walkman. My Canadian dream was sired in L.A. I went there to do a series created by two very talented actresses from Second City, Linda Cash and Deborah McGrath, who's married, of course, to Colin Mockery.
Colin Mockery and Deborah McGrath, they headlined my comedy festival.
Oh, fantastic.
And they did another show in December, and they're coming back in June for it. And they're just magical on stage, the two of them.
Deborah McGrath was one of the best improvisers that Second City stage had ever seen. And of course, Colin is a wizard. So we were all down there together in Los Angeles back in the early 90s when our babies were little. And
so you had your family in L.A.?
Yeah, my daughter was 18 months and she was almost 5 when we came home.
Wow.
And, I went through the whole gamut: earthquakes, floods, fires, riots. I mean, the only thing that was missing just like now, the only thing that was missing was locusts. But the hard and fast rules of that Carnivores Arena in Los Angeles. I mean, going to 87 auditions before you land something, you land a commercial, and everybody's there. I mean, there was one place that could cast 11 different commercials at once. It was like the Ellis Island of casting. It was incredible. I mean, but it made me stronger, and it made me realize that, A, I wanted to be a stand-up. B, I wanted to create my own television show on my terms. And C, I wanted to do it without an agent. And so when I came back to Canada,
you did Blackfly.
I stayed with an agent for about a year, and then no, maybe more than that, for about 3 or 4, I guess. And then, created Blackfly, and that was what it was. I thought that it had far more potential than it was given the chance to have. But you don't get...
As with most incredible shows, actually.
Well, you don't get bitter, you just get better. And but after that was canceled, I hit the road hard for 7 years. And we were really blazing trail because nobody was out there. Nobody was on the road.
Right.
And it was this wonderful victory in baby steps. I remember when I played Brantford, and that big 1,000-seater there, that old vaudeville house, right? It's a beautiful room. I remember it was in 2003, winter 2003, I had 135 people in there. 135. I would deliver something and the joke would bounce like I was on a lip of the Grand Canyon. It was just fucking echoing everywhere. And I said to my producer, I said, geez, I don't think I can do that place again. And he said, well, Ronnie, they sounded like 300. And I thought, it's all 1,000. But you know what? Ever since, we've sold that room out.
Amazing.
So it takes time.
Yeah.
But it takes time, and you have to keep bringing them new content.
Yes.
You can't rely on your old sets. We were talking earlier.
No, it's not like music.
No, it's not. You can't sing Hey Jude forever.
No, you can't.
Right? Right? Yeah. No.
They can, but it's like when it comes to jokes, it's like once you've heard it.
I mean, this journey touring Canada has been rife with epiphanies. And
how do you stay sane when you're on the road? What do you do?
I stay in shape.
Yeah.
I used to run all the time before I threw my knee out. But, I don't drink too much. It was always exciting when you first went out.
Yeah.
You'd have,
a couple of beer.
Yeah, a couple of beer and a shot of scotch, and then you'd leave a raincoat in a friggin' hotel room or something, right?
How do you know what I've been doing?
Exactly. Oh, great, perfect.
It's my tripod usually that I leave behind.
I don't think we ever really figure it out, but it's all about the journey, not the grail at the end of the trail. Right? Yeah. And so you gotta enjoy the journey. And I know that's hard, when you're playing a tough gig for drunks in a biker bar where the owner knows where the bodies are buried.
I sometimes, people go, how can you do those shows like that? And I go, well, it's kind of like finding a small piece of a puzzle that kind of, it fits in somewhere. But you've collected that piece, and you never know where it's going to come in handy.
Yeah, where it's going to come in handy.
You know?
Yeah, and it's particularly tough for a woman on the road too. I can't imagine.
It is. It's pretty tough.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And so I hope you're with a good crew on the road. And,
I actually do a lot of my traveling alone.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a very solitary creature.
I do too. I travel alone too. But you know what? People say, why don't you have somebody drive you? And I said, no, man, I can talk to myself. I can sing songs. I can listen to, I can listen to my music. I can listen to books on tape.
Yeah.
On tape. Who's the 65-year-old guy? I can listen to books on tape, and sometimes I even put one in the Walkman. But anyway, there's something to be said about plying your trade solo to the far points of frontier. You get stronger.
Yeah.
There's only 37 million people in the country. Right? There's 375 million people in the States.
Yeah.
You can have half that country disliking your act and still have 6 times the population of Canada buying a ticket to your show.
Yeah.
But I think the people dig us, you know? It's the people that come out.
Yeah.
I know populism has undergone a distortion of definition with the rise of populists and Trump and the post-truth world. But the fact is that it's such a reward and such a luxury to have people leaving their homes to sit in a theater to see you. That's why it's authentic. That's what makes it so great.
I always ask myself, I'm like, would I? It's so hard for me to purchase a ticket and get out anywhere these days. So anytime I perform, I'm like, wow, you came out on this snowstorm.
Yes.
Sometimes on like a Wednesday night.
Yes.
At 9 p.m.
Yes.
It's like, thank you.
Thank you very much. It's such a testimony to the art form.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, it's an art form. It's as legitimate as any.
So you've done, this is my last question.
Sure.
You seem to have done everything, right? What is something that you would like to do in the next few years? What is a project or anything, really?
Well, I'd really like to get back into acting again. And I've got a film I'm going to do, and I'd like to write a script. And I've got a lot of different irons in the fire, but a film and another series. I'd like to get involved with a series that has an emotional trajectory. That's a little more, that's more mature in scope, I guess, where you balance the drama and the comedy together, because that's what life is.
Yeah. And I find a lot of television is that these days. It used to be. I remember when it was like, what was it, 6 Feet Under?
Sure.
Or it came out, and it was like, oh, it's funny, but it's also dark, and it's dark humor. And it's like, I find every series is like that now, like Succession.
It's fantastic.
It's like, you know, you're laughing, but it's also very serious.
Yes.
And people are going through shit on the show, and it's still hilarious.
But that's life. What stokes my mojo more than anything, and you have to agree, I mean, I'm sure you do, all stand-ups do, is when you hear the hum of audience behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah.
And you step out, and then it's yours.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And the more you do
that does stoke my mojo big time.
And the more you do it, the more comfortable you become in your own skin.
Do you become more comfortable? Because I find there's times where I feel really comfortable and like I'm a new me from here on out, and then I find I go, oh my gosh. Do you ever get beyond that?
On the occasional corporate gig, you'll have that experience, right? Yeah, it's like, really? Come on, man. I just had 2,000 people in Edmonton laugh their ass off at this joke, and you're flatlining me? You know, so it's the context of the room.
Yeah, and you don't know what's going on in their lives or who they're sitting next to and all that. It's very complicated.
I mean, right. But, yeah, I mean, from time to time, you know, the parachute doesn't open immediately. But you learn to work the room, and all the years in the clubs that you've put in so far, and then now the festivals and the big rooms, they all contribute to a stand-up life fully actualized. And that's really what it's all about, is the long haul. And I know I'm going to be on stage until I'm tripping over my own catheter tube up there. So, it's just what I love doing.
Well, at least you'll have those Depends we're going to load you up with today.
Deals at Choppers.
Ron, thank you so much for being
Thanks for the swag for the old guy. I'm going away with a bag of Depends, baby.
They're Zoomer branded. There's a little embroidery on them.
Good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being so generous with your time today. And
too.
Good luck on your tour.
Thank you.
And
you too. Stay safe out there.
Check this out. Check this out. I got a signed to Scannooch. Look at that. I will treasure this forever.
Thanks, Scannooch. All the best.
That's been Anjelica's Daily Surprise. See you next time.